They have stopped that path toward a real humanity. We are not even using our brain at more than 10%. If only we could use it at 100, it wouldn't be so bad, but we can do much better than that. And go back to true humanity. That's exactly my idea, in which there is no separation between all beings, there is no separation between the mind, the soul, the body, one another, parents with children, children with family, family with the village with the country with the world, and the world with the universe, and with God. All one, oneness, unity, that's the whole point. That's what we have all forgotten. I know that at one point you want to ask me also about a non-local events and all that. That has everything to do with that, precisely. That means when I'm taking care of someone, you know, from 1 inch or 1,000 miles, just the same. There is no separativeness. There is no separation between things. If only you could have 1 sense more than you have, as I do, the way you'll see the universe, the way I'm seeing you or this camera is so different. There is no difference between the atoms of the wall and your atom. Everything is a flux. Everything is a movement of energy all the time. There is no life and death then. There is a perpetual continuation. And naturally, there is no distance. The greatest secret of the universe. There is no time. All experiments in physics prove there is no time. Each time we put time to the test, it doesn't exist. And yet, tell me of one human that can write a book or a simple chapter on an atemporal story. How can it be possible to even conceive? And since there is no time, there is no space. Space, time, it's one single continuum. Actually, there is no reality. That's why it's so easy for me to surf, to switch between this multiple dimensional, multi-reality universe and make things impossible happen. They were impossible in one little reductionistic reality, but in another one, they were so simple to organize. You could do it, anyone can do it. I just happen to be the one right now with a key.
Well, and you know, again, you have the lineage and the heritage, and you know, anyway.
I have the memory. You have the same heritage and the same lineage, everybody.
Yeah.
You just have been cut off.
Yeah.
You have been lobotomized
Yeah.
from your own senses, from your knowledge, from your sensitivity, from your heart. You have been cut off from one another, but that can be reestablished. I have the key, I can pass it to you, you can pass it to someone else. And that's something new also in my project. For the first time in my life, I'm ready to delegate. Why? Because time is running out.
Yeah.
Okay, we can just sit down and meditate and wait that the greatest consciousness rises, and we don't have that opportunity and that chance today. We need to go fast, to be very effective, to give proofs to people, give them example, and then to associate them, re-empowered.
Okay.
That's it.
That you know, this idea of the capacity to delegate, you call delegate, to be
Yes.
able to pass on, to awaken and have others do similar things
Mm-hmm.
in their own way. How? Let's just open that up a little bit, because that is it's always been, you know, I want to talk, right? I want to share. There's so many things that come up as you speak. First, my friend Krishnamurti.
Mm-hmm.
Have you read much of him? Do you know much about him?
I know everything about him.
Great. One of his greatest works was a conversation with the physicist David Bohm. The name of it, the collected works, was The Ending of Time.
Yes.
Which was exactly what you're talking about. They were
Yes.
very specific about that.
What I'm saying is not mine, everybody knows it.
Well,
It's ancient knowledge, it's common knowledge.
Yeah.
But it's like the truth, you know, people claim are running for the truth, but when they face the truth, most of the time they go back, way back, okay, it's too much for what I don't want to change ultimately.
Yeah. Let's talk briefly about how you could implement the spreading of this awakening and having other people learn and so on. Can you go into that at all?
Oh yes, it's very simple. It's a simple catalytic effect. I need to have groups of people whom I can teach, who can teach others and so forth. It can go very fast. In a year, 8 billion people can be healers.
Mm.
And then, I'm going to have a lot of enemies. A lot of people are going to be looking for job, including governments. That's the problem.
Yeah.
When people are happy and when people are free, they don't need doctors, they don't need priests, they don't need judges, because there is no crime. They don't need governments. Worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Or this dream. And it takes just starting the whole process, priming the pump, having a team of a few dozen people whom I've taught directly, who are going to taught others, and so forth. One person can teach 10, 10 person can teach 1,000, and it goes exponential and very, very fast. Once again, from proofs. That's why also we need to have our own laboratories, because when the scientific corpus is going to understand the danger, the threat to their own paradigm that's going to be washed away, we better have our own laboratories to establish our own proofs. Okay. That's what people need, once again. Proofs, proofs, proofs. Empiricism, not new messages.
Let's talk about health. Let's, people, to most people, not being sick
is healthy.
Is healthy, right? It's so crazy. But so health. Let's redefine
it's like
now.
Not being unhappy is being happy. No,
yes.
There is a major difference between not being sick and being healthy. Being healthy is being happy, being in love with oneself, with God, with the entire universe, with one another. It's just being on duty, being healthy and being happy. It's not solely being whole. It's a proactive process by which you help others be whole. And assuming that the whole world would be whole, there is always a way to make it wholer, more united, for instance, and happier. Always. This is the pursuit of happiness in terms of evolution, in terms of spirituality, always. That's how you are healthy. You're healthy when you're happy when you're on duty, when you are one with the divine and with yourself. To me, that's the definition of health. It's a proactive and what I've called at one point healthening, which means a dynamic of health. Not just being perfectly sound, powerful, young also. I mean, what are those free radicals? Who said we're supposed even to die? We die because we are too many and we have lost the key. But that's not necessary at all. It's a way by which nature is getting rid of too many. If we could go back peacefully to a smaller amount of people in terms of a new evolution, there'll be no need for aging, no need for sickness. We'll be all one with one another and with the divine and with life. No aging process, no separation, and yet we'll be all different. That's oneness within differences. That's the beauty of life. That's the beauty of the divine. There is one God in an infinite levels of aspects and realities. But basically, every prophet stays the same. That's just the one who followed them who decided that was otherwise. Okay.
Very nice. It's interesting when we use the word God, the languaging.
It's a taboo, absolute taboo that I'm infringing all the time. To a Druid or to a Jew, and there is a lot of things in common between my people and their people, of course. The concept, the trying to give a name to the divine or even conceptualize the divine is a blasphemy. Okay? To me, to make it, not her, not him, not them, as one being, anthropomorphic beside, is horrible, is pathetic, is what I call hypotheism. I propose hypertheism, in which you have so much respect for the divine that ultimately you don't even pray to the divine. Why don't you pray to yourself? Why do you put the blame on God on everything? Why do you look for solution within God? That's what I've said. And that was not after one of your presidents. It's from my own ancestor. Instead of asking what God can do for you, why don't you ask yourself what you can do for God? Pray to yourself to help the divine, who is right now suffering through life, through its expression on this planet at least. A lot. So the divine is everywhere, doesn't deserve a name, deserves respect and love and protecting. Okay, sorry, I'm getting moved.
You're doing great. This is
I'm just getting moved.
This is exactly right, don't you think? It's perfect.
Yes.
It's perfect.